Hello everybody and welcome, I'm Son of Mowgef. It's Wednesday and I'm playing Species. Before I get going, I just want to give a quick apologies for, this episode's probably going to go out quite late today. I haven't been feeling great this morning and it's fine. I've had my lunch and I've got my coconut water, so I'm feeling better already. I'm going to have a slurp of it right now, unprofessionally, right in front of the microphone. Lovely, lovely. So what am I doing today in Species? I'm gonna replay what I tried last week because it didn't work to my satisfaction. There seems to be some kind of bug in the engine where a continuing simulation is different to one that's freshly loaded. So what I was doing previously was letting the population get to a certain level and then reducing the temperature of the world and then letting it run until their population got up again and then reduce the temperature to see if I can make a species that starts off human. Already lost his eyes, look. Already. Humans like this, these are ye olde micro-humans. And see if we can adapt them to the cold climate. So that's what I'm going to be doing. It's essentially a repeat of last week's episode, and I apologise for that. But I thought it's something I want to do, and I think it's going to be interesting to see the difference between last week's and this week's. With the only real difference being that I'm loading and saving regularly, or saving and then loading regularly. That the other way wouldn't work. So the population is already up over 1,000. If I pop the temperature down, it never ceases to amaze me just how stark the differences between these clicks. Like, it went from 27 degrees to 22. That would be catastrophic in a real world environment. But so I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to use the auto-save for now, like that, but I'm also going to do this, loading the world that's already loaded, just so it updates the simulation, because it appears to have not done that previously. I like the way, I was going to say, the population appears to be going up, but the arrow was pointing down, like more were dying than were living at that point. So yeah, excuse me, I'm just gonna adjust my volume a little bit. I do this every video that I do, doesn't matter what game I'm playing. As soon as the music kicks in, I have to adjust my volume because I play a ton of different games and they're all different in terms of volume. Like this and Colony Survival that I did yesterday. I had a blast playing that yesterday as well. They're very quiet games, where things like Scrap Mechanic is in that middle ground. It's not loud, but it's also, you know, not quiet. And then they're the more action-y type games that I play that can be really loud. Bizarre. Right, so I'm just waiting for the population to change and get it up to a certain level, and then I'll change the temperature, save, load, just to make sure the simulation is, you know, up to date. We were above 1,000 population, which is just about where I'm going to wait for it to get to. But it takes time for the changes to affect the population of the world, so I didn't want to, you know, like, do that immediately. He said in a weird voice. Let's have a look. No, we've got our human. It's still very human, except the eyes have gone. We've got this guy, the horned cyclops, with, like, lumpy meat hands. This is just a rock person. He just looks like he's made of rocks. Oh, and that's his cousin, apparently. Oh, completely changed between things. Just see, it gets a little awkward. Ooh, population's back up. Let's do this. We're going to do that. And then we're going to go boot the temperature down to 18.4. Again, a very steep decrease. And then I'm going to go save. I'm just going to slam it on the autosave every time. And then load. It's a shame that you have to do this to keep the simulation updated. But, you know, it's an early access game with one dev. And despite the fact it can be a buggy mess at times and, you know, with weird inconsistencies in the simulations and crashes and that kind of thing, I still think it's a good game. It's fun and I like it. It's weird and kooky and interesting. And the dev, singular, has done a fantastic job on it, so I am impressed. You might be able to tell, like, for one person, a lot has been achieved already in this, and with the way things are this year, I'm, you know, things have not been the easiest, especially for game development. It's really difficult to develop a game, and it's even more difficult to develop a game when you haven't got access to a team, when you're separated from your team and your user base and things like that by a goddamn bloody stupid virus thing. Don't even get me started. Don't. I'm gonna quit there. Ooh. Look, sorry, I got distracted. You look interesting. Let's have a look at your speak. Doesn't look like that at all. Looks more like that, but again, a little inconsistent between how they appear in the game world and how they actually appear. Have a look. Oh, lukewarm blooded. He's already got fur. That's interesting because it hasn't been that long. An omnivore, which is how the humans started. Promiscuous, brave, insomniac, gluttonous. All the usual things. Boom. I like this weird section that I've got off the edge of the map here. Like, isn't this normally all flat out here? I've got a couple of 100 hours in this game. You think I might have noticed the outside edge of the map before? I haven't. Discovering new things in the dumbest way possible. That's how my channel works. Oh, that guy did the thing where they demonetize themselves before I even get a chance to look at what they're doing. Oh look, it's one of those furry humans I mentioned. It's dead. It's dead immediately. If I see something interesting, I need to learn to pause it and take a look so they're not demonetized, like, before I even get the chance. We do have some cold patches. I forgot this video was supposed to be about temperature, wasn't it? We had this going on before where these patches were really warm, but they were next to, like, really cold patches. I find that quite an interesting scenario. Like, there's a cold patch, like, here, like 2-3 degrees, 4, like, but up here, it's like 12, 13. It's still pretty cold when you're talking about Celsius, but it's a huge difference between, like, here, what's this, -9, and over here, which is +23. Not too bad of a temperature. Still a little bit warm for my likings, but I'm particular, so things seem to be going pretty well. Let's have a look at our clade diagram. Okay, the dominant species is still a human-looking human. Looks like our furry friends died out. Oh my god. Oh. I love the noises this game makes me make. Yeah, see these guys. He was herbivorous. Oh my god, a whole bunch of new ones. What are you? Just what are you? Again, it kind of reminds me of a horror movie ripoff, like a cheap, like, C-grade horror movie ripping off, like, E.T., but doing it like if he was evil. Which he might have been, we don't know that. That still quite human, with a weird gait and a weird head, and gigantic bloody eyes, but love the power stance. Like he's about to grab his electric guitar and like kick out a sweet riff, you know? I meant riff, not rift, but you guys get what I mean. About to shred the guitar solo, like... Oh, is he dead? No! Power stance guy, why? Okay, well... My raging insanity aside, I'm going to let this run for a little while, and I'll bring you guys back when it's time to make, you know, some changes. Okay, welcome back. It's actually been a fair old while, about 10 minutes-ish, since I was last here, or while you were last here, but these guys have been struggling to get their numbers up. So this is going to be an interesting change. Let's just pop the temperature down to a straight 14 degrees. Definitely on the chilly side. I'm going to save it. I'm going to put it on this one now. For the reasons, like, if I need to go back, I know this was the last place that they were surviving well, so that's why I'm doing that. So, yeah. Let's do that. And then load it. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought it crashed for a second then. You notice the population was going up. Now immediately it's going back down. It's definitely different. It's also auto-saving, I've just realised, so that other thing that I was using is pointless, but never mind. Make a huge difference. Yeah, so we're at 14 degrees. We're up to 4 species as well. Look at all of this going on. I always love these clade diagrams. They're bloody crazy. Oh, look. He's got some fur. He's also got some claws, which is a bit worrying. Oh, what the hell was that thing? This is our dominant species now, look. Oh, I think it actually has crashed. Boop! Crash. Okay, I'll be right back with a reload on that one. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm back again. Yeah, I just reloaded the save. So what was I doing? I was looking at the clade diagram. There we go. So we got these guys and these guys. This is our dominant species now. I love the posture, the leant back posture. This guy's got more fur than skin, I think. God, he's also got these tiny little hoofs. Look, bizarre, absolutely bizarre. God, look at these things. Oh, they've gone herbivorous as well. I wasn't checking that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And you need to... Oh my god, why do you have eyes there? That's not where eyes go. I shouldn't be surprised. I constantly am by this game and what it does, but... He's a herbivore. He's a herbivore. 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 Again, the posture. Amazing. Let's do a temperature check. So it's... like in the low single digits here. Yeah, it's in the low negative digits here, although it gets up to like 13-ish over here. Our warm spot is still quite warm, believe it or not. Sure exactly why that is, that it just has random warm patches on the map, but I like it. It'll be interesting to see if they congregate there. Which some of them are, apparently. Again, it's that situation where I've made the creatures in the world desperately attempt to live in any way they can. So it's quite warm around here still. This is all very cold, isn't it? Look at all this, look. It's quite moderate around here. Again, with a little warm patch. So yeah, that's why it's running at the moment. Good God, we're up to 9 species. Although, I noticed them down here, they seem to be going extinct quite rapidly. Down to... Oh, because I had to restart it. So I put it at 14, which is where it was. 8 bloody species. Oh my good God. This claw dude. Oh. It's 14 of them, which isn't bad. I feel like this guy is more threatening with the downwards pointing claws than this guy with the forward pointing claws. I'm not even sure why. I guess because they're bigger? Again, the power posture is back. Look at that. Love it. You gotta have confidence to have a stance like that. Like, seriously. Oh, there's only one of them left. 6 of these guys. That's an interesting arm shape, isn't it? Like, you could almost walk on those. More so than you can these stumpy little legs. Like, does this guy even have knees? I don't think he does. Ooh, we're above 1,000 population. We're up to 1,001. I'm just interested to see where this is going to go before it turns the other way. Well, yeah. Impressive, actually. So let's pop the temperature down to 9.6 and do our save routine. I might as well continue putting it on the autosave. The game is autosaving it there, so... load... I don't know why, I changed from autosave to the Ice Age one, which is where I should be saving it, really, and then back again. Captain Indecision at work. There we go. Let's pop the speed back up. It defaults to the normal play speed for some reason. Alright. The population does seem to be going down, despite the fact more are dying than living. That's going to change, though. As I mentioned at the beginning of this, that it takes a little bit of time for things to take effect. Oh God, this very cold area is encroaching, isn't it? Look at this. The minus temperatures here and here. Survivable temperatures, but still pretty bloody cold. Middle bit is actually not that bad. Where's our warm area? It's still pretty bloody warm in our warm area. I'm not sure what the dealio is with that. In the cold season, because again, if you look at last week's video, I changed the way the seasons work, so the cold season was very, very long. As long as I could reasonably make it. Still got a lot of warm patches. Is there still a bunch of guys over here? I mean, there are. Look at the bloody size of that one. It's massive. Oh, it's one of those guys. And he's dead. I click when I shouldn't. I need to learn at some point. Son of Mowgef needs to learn something at some point. Look at these guys, look. The population's actually doing fairly well. I guess that's where they've started to have offspring that are adapted to the environment. Or at least have adaptations that allow them to survive better in the environment than their rivals. But yeah, look at this! Ooh! Okay, let's do a change again. So it's from 9.6 to 5. Oof. Do another save. And another load, just to make sure it's updating. Boom. Let's go. We're down to 2 species now. I hadn't noticed that. We got this guy with his power stance and his weird bent over backwards posture, but we've got this guy who is also power stance with arms and legs. This guy's slacking a bit, but oh well. Hang on. that guy is slacking a bit, but this guy, he knows what's going on. This is an offshoot species we had very, very briefly. Well, they all died out. I love the way that the chin of this head is almost perpetually hidden in the body. Like, you see it happens here on this one, and it happens less so here on... Oh, God damn it, game. Less so here on this one. You can still see his mouth, but, it's still pretty rough, isn't it? It's a head shape and a body shape. Population's still going up there, which is interesting. Is this bit over here even getting any colder? I don't feel like it is. Like, we've got these massive cold patches that are getting further and further, like, inland. They're not just taking over the edges of the map anymore. They're becoming the map itself. And yet, yeah, some of the map is surprisingly warm. Look at that, 28 degrees. That would be too hot for me. I would move over to a bit here. Maybe somewhere around here where it's nice and cool. Oh my god. Population's doing really well all of a sudden. When I took a break to do a cut and let things run for a little while, they were really struggling to keep the numbers up. Not so much now. Like, the population cap is 2,000. And they're more than halfway to it. Although, yeah, we've had a bit of a decline since I started talking, which is what always happens when I play this. I'm like, oh, look, this really interesting thing is happening with the population, and then it swings the exact opposite way. It's like, oh, thanks, game. Well done. I don't need you to make me look stupid. I'm perfectly capable of doing that myself. Like I do on a regular basis. This is quite a popular area, this is. Look at all these things running around between their 6-degree area and their 16-degree area. A full 10 degrees difference. Again, when you're talking about Celsius, that is massive. Like, right next to each other as well. It's like one line of trees worth of distance. I think these guys are doing pretty well. It might be time to change that again. I mean, they're up to 1.1. What are we putting the temperature down to now? Oh, they're pretty much just 0, huh? 0.8. Less than a degree. I'm going to go ahead and save again. And load again. Wait for it. Boom. That transition between loads is really jarring. Like, it does nothing for just long enough for me to think that it's crashed, but then it does that weird flash, and then it dumps you in a world which is, you know, on the move. This population decrease is a little worrying, he says, with a smile on his face and no worry in his voice. Some of these guys appear to be stuck. Oh, they weren't stuck, they were dying, apparently. Oh god, now what have I done with the camera? This is another game where I just cannot get used to the camera. It does some weird things sometimes. It's because it's a simulation game. I'm not used to Sims. I'm used to other things. Like open world survival-y type games are my forte. Alright, so we're below 1,000 population again. I can't keep away from the clade diagram. I love looking at this thing. I don't know what it is. It's so interesting just to look at the lines on this. It's a little bit too zoomed out, son of Mowgef. Give the viewers an opportunity to see what you see. But you've got all these offshoots here, look, that were quite successful for a limited amount of time, but now extinct. And you see this guy was pretty much human all the way down to here, where it took a very steep curve over here, like a literal 90-degree turn, where it started to adapt, and now it's got 2 offshoots of species. Oh look, we got this mutant. Yep, looks like a mutant as well. A bloody herbivore. Oh, this one's got, again, power pose, a forward inclined posture, unlike the other ones that are just kind of laid back. Oh, is that an eye in the middle of its freaking face? Yep. Oh, it's in the middle of its mouth. Again, unless you're HP Lovecraft, this is not where eyes go. I'm sorry, it's not where they go. And neither is this. This might actually be worse. Oh, God. Is that on its chin or its chest, do you think? Considering the game mechanics, these eyeballs would have to be on the creature's chin, which is embedded in its body, which is why they look like they're coming out of its chest, but fantastic pose. Our dominant species. So we got these guys that are direct descendants of the humans, and these guys. So the genetic line is still intact. It can break, but it's kind of rare, to say the least. Excuse me while I hum to this music. Oh my god, I need to pause it and do the changes, because look at the population. But yeah, I need to get a new thing in my head. I've been humming one of the musical pieces from a game called Megalomania. I played it quite a lot on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, you know, the 16-bit Nintendo. I don't know why I'm randomly humming it today, but it's actually kind of bugging me. But the music in that game was fantastic, so let's drop this down then. Negative 3.6 degrees. Awesome. Let me go ahead and save this. Overwrite. Load. Auto save. Wait for it. There we go. Gets me every time. This game gets me like so often. It's like, oh, is it gonna do it or is it gonna not do it? And then it does it, and you're like, oh. This walk animation, look. It's ridiculous, and I love it. It's got these gigantic legs, but it takes teeny tiny little steps, look. Look how white everything is. And I'm talking about walk animations. Let's do a temperature check. Oh, it's got really frame ratey all of a sudden. Oh, and the population is actually quite high. It's definitely in the minus numbers over here. An inexplicable warm patch right... Where is it? Right there, look. Just this one little warm patch. What about this area? This place is actually not bad. It's still pretty warm here. Bizarrely. I wonder if that's something that I might be able to change in future. It's just occurred to me, if I can manipulate the world when I create it so that it's got one big warm patch in the middle of the map, like, I don't know, like there. And then I'll let the guys hit the creature cap, and then I'll push them into the middle where the warm survivable section is. I might try that. I haven't done that before, because there's a lot of tools in the world creator that I've not used, but make everything cold except for one little patch in the middle. That would be hilarious in my head. Let's go ahead and pause it. I mean, they're doing quite well. I want to check the clade diagram again, because as I said, I'm bloody obsessed with this thing. Oh god, that eye choice, look. one horizontal, one vertical. They're like reptile eyes. It's I like the idea that the legs have grown this long so it doesn't rub its butt against the cold floor. It's just like, oh god, I can get piles from that. I better, it develops long legs over the time so it doesn't have that problem. That's not how evolution works at all, but you guys get it. What am I doing? I got so distracted with my side thought. Like this. Then we'll do this, this, and this. Boom. Let's get the speed up. We've got some actually, like, pretty cold temperatures here these guys are surviving. They haven't pulled up as much over here. Like, there's a population over here. Like, in the reasonably warm areas. But for the most part, like, these guys are surviving in the colder sections. I mean, look at this population. It's as high as it's ever been. That's kind of shocking. If they hit the creature cap, I'm just going to put the temperature down again. I'm going to need to kill some of them off so they can breed. I mean, they can't... Oh, there we go. They can't adapt if they've got no population to adapt into, if that makes sense. Like, because when you make changes in a world like this, it doesn't really affect the population that's currently living. It affects the population that's that hasn't come yet. It affects the offspring of the creatures more than it affects the creatures. They'll most likely just die. If they can have a repopulation, some offspring, in the meantime, there might be an adaptation in them that allows them to survive the changes. I feel like I'm rambling nonsense. I do that a lot. I try to explain things in a way that somebody dumb like me can understand and then end up confusing myself. Which again, speaks a lot to my personality. Dare I continue to do this, where I just put the temperature down in like quick succession? I'm tempted just to let it run, but while the population sustains itself above 1,000, I don't see a reason to do that. This area over here, unlivably cold for naked humans. Although, yeah, I mean, these guys are doing pretty well for themselves. Let me... no, I said pause. I can't click that guy. There we go. Let's have a look. So he's an oily furred herbivore, terrestrial. He's brave and gluttonous. I think they have to be gluttonous in order to live. They're not going to get enough food. Decent walk speed, decent... Oh, cross-country walk stamina. I think that's good. Means he can walk for a long time? I think. There's no swim ability. There's no water on the damn map. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and change your whole world again. Where have we got to? -8. Holy hell. I mean, that's cold even for me. That's like unbearably cold for most people. Go ahead and load. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Throw that population up. Oh, I've just noticed we're down to 1 species. That's a potato. This is the creature that you start with. This isn't once even been on this map. I don't know why it's detecting that. Also, there's something... Oh. There was something going on up there where it looked like something was alive and dead at the same time. Zombies! Or vampires? Golems? You get the idea. Alive, but also not alive. That wasn't the case. I think it was just like a graphical error. This guy is, Is that just me? Has he got like a little pot belly? Like he's dad bodding it quite significantly? Like me. I'm dad bodding it like a boss these days. Oh, we're back down to 1. I was going to say we've got more, but I got distracted. Ooh dear. The constant change in temperature has definitely had a detrimental effect on the population, hasn't it? It's like half of what it was. All this now, like this was a fairly warm, decent area before, wasn't it? Not so much now. It's still really warm in this one patch. I'm really interested to find out how that works. Sadly, I've got so much going on at the moment with so many different games. Like, I've got this new thing going on with colony survival, which is awesome. And I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to do in scrap mechanic, which will require like hours and hours of grinding out materials to accomplish. So it's just something gets sacrificed along the way, and I kind of wish it wasn't Species, but this is one of those games where you can just pick it up and do a thing. You don't actually have to have a plan, if that makes sense. Like, I prefer to have a plan. Very rarely do I fire this up with no idea what I want to do and just see what happens. I normally want to do a thing. It keeps switching back and forth between these two, where I move the cursor from there to there. It's my fault. I'm blaming the game. It's my fault. Another warm patch over here. And over here. Let's have a look. Oh god, I've been recording nearly an hour. Just short. I think what I'll do is oh, that actually made me jump. I nearly knocked my mouse off the bloody thing then. I'll let this run for a little while off camera to see what goes on in these regards, and I'll bring you guys back if there are significant changes. So I'll see you soon, in a minute. Okay, here we are again. I went off to get myself a drink and I come back and the population's over 1,000, so let's let me think about the best way to do this. If I drop the temperatures down to -12, if I start a world that's already cold, I think it's around this temperature, so I might do that next week. I'll export these creatures and then start a new world with them currently adapted as they are, see if they'll survive it. I do want to do my save and my load, because I'm going to forget if I don't do it now. There we go. Let's speed it up and just check the status, just check where we are. It's starting to get colder in this area now. This cold front is encroaching on the warm areas of the map. Thanks, autosave. I just saved it, but, you know, thanks for your input. Yeah, like, there are hardly any warm places left on the map now. Population is still on the up, though. The frame rate is definitely on the low. Excuse me. Pardon me, I needed a burpee. I got a drink and guzzled it almost instantaneously. So we've only got 2 species. We've got the most laid back thing you will ever see in your life. And this guy who really hasn't changed that much over the course of things. Like, if I zoom out, oh god, the frame rate's dying. Look, it's almost a straight line. There's been very little change, just minute changes in size. So I am in fact going to leave it there for this week. I shall continue this experiment next week, since it hasn't really, you know, come to a conclusion yet. But thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate all the help and support that you guys give me. I've been getting a fantastic like feedback from people, especially regarding this game, Species. I've got multiple suggestions from you subscribers that I've actually written down and put it in a place so I constantly am reminded about how I need to tackle that in a future video. Thank you to all those people. Do keep the suggestions coming in. Obviously, they go down in the comments section. For those of you that have not subscribed, which is roughly 75% of people that watch my videos, please do take 2 seconds out of your day, click the subscribe button, and make me a happy Mowgef. So, once again, this is Species. I'm son of Mowgef. I shall probably see you Friday now for Teardown. I have no idea what the next missions are like in Teardown, so that's going to be fun to deal with. I had a hell of a time with the missions that I did last week, so if you haven't watched that, maybe go check it out, you know, in time for Friday's video. I don't have anything planned for tomorrow, but as always, I might do something, I might not. So, yeah, I will see you soon. Why did I use that voice? Why the weird voice, son of Mowgef?